Hello friends, it's Coop from Garage Gym Reviews, and today I'm going to be talking and showing you the ultimate jammer arm build. So this is what I've done. I've basically taken jammer arms, had jammer arms for quite a while. We reviewed the original Rogue ones. I've had Sore Necks, I've had Titan, I've had Rep, we've reviewed and tested all of them and compared them. The ones that I use most often are the Rogue or just the original 1.0. LT1 50 cal trolley arms. Those are the ones that I like and I've used. The 2.0s are nicer, but I didn't see enough benefit to have those, so I used the 1.0s. But companies have come out with additional things to attach onto the jammer arms. So if you're somebody that has jammer arms and is looking for ways to allow yourself to use them more, increase the versatility, make them more useful, I have a couple things I'm gonna show you that I've added to mine and talk through what I think the value is and what I think you should prioritize in terms of which one to get. Okay, let's get into it. So today I'm going to be talking primarily about the Vendetta lever arm adapters as well as the GymPin times Kaizen jammer arm adapters. Both of these take a standard jammer arm, and many of you I know have jammer arms. Whether you use them or not, I don't know. I'm not Santa. I don't watch you when you sleep. What's the song?
He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake.
I know when you're working out. I don't do that. But these allow you to do some things with jammer arms that honestly, after having them on there, you're like, man, why didn't they just include these standard? You know, like why didn't they just come out with it? And maybe I'm hoping in the future, these companies will come out with this stuff standard. Before I get into the GymPin times Kaizen jammer arm adapters or the Vendetta 180-degree adapters, first want to say these companies sent these free of charge so I could review them, give you my honest take. As you'll see, I'll do that. In addition, if you'd like to purchase any of these, we'll put links below, like buttons, where you can purchase them. The companies will pay us a small commission, doesn't increase the price you pay. Okay, so first off, I want to talk about the Vendetta adapters. Both of these products are quite simple in what they do. They're basically taking something that you already have and adding functionality that you may want or wish you had. So the Vendetta adapters are basically steel plates that go on the side of your trolleys and allow you to create a starting position for your jammer arms. So for instance, instead of having to start the jammer arm lift at the bottom every time and having to do a clean and jerk if say you want to do a shoulder press, it allows you to set the starting point for the lift and then from there load your plates on and start from there every time. So the idea is basically it tries to mimic more closely what you would use in a commercial gym for say hammer strength products. Say like a hammer strength plate loaded military press, hammer strength plate loaded flat press, decline, incline, those sorts of movements. This allows you to more mimic that because you can create the start position. Because you may be able to bench more than you can clean and jerk, or you may just not want to clean and jerk every time you're lifting. You want to have a set start position. This allows you to do that. That's one of the big benefits. And then the other benefit, which I think is a lesser benefit, but I actually really like as well, is allows you to store them out of the way or give them a fixed position so you can use them for things like pull-ups and dips and things like that. Because if you're using these, like me, on say a Rogue LT1 trolley system or their 2.0 trolley system or a Sore Necks jammer arm, you don't have a fixed point. You have to start at the base every time. So these very simply allow you to put a band peg in and give a fixed point. And I freaking love it. Honestly, after using it, you're like, man, the biggest question mark is why didn't companies think of this before? Why didn't they just include this standard? A couple notes. Number one, the assembly time on this, it's okay. It doesn't take a crazy amount of time. If you put the LT1 trolley together yourself, you're gonna be able to add these. I'd say maybe 30 minutes to an hour depending on your skill level, not too difficult. But you have to do it on both sides of both trolleys. So it's about 4 plates, that's what adds up. But after you do one, you figure out what's happening, you do the other one pretty quickly. One of the things they're adding though, beyond just the plates, is also hardware. So because they're wanting to make sure that nothing breaks, there's basically gonna be more force suspended and on the tubing of the trolley arm. They add grade 8 hardware. So you basically replace some of that hardware for grade 8 hardware. It's like that gold zinc hardware that is much denser and higher quality. It's a better steel that's used. It's also more expensive. Also, they add backer plates. So if you're gonna use this on a just standard trolley arm, they add a backer plate It's basically to prevent that from warping when you're adding a ton of weight. It's just basically they've tried to make this so it's as robust as possible for people that are lifting a lot of weight and suddenly that arm's resting on something, whereas before it wasn't necessarily designed for that. But another thing of note, as you can see, they blend seamlessly in with the trolley because they're using the same powder coat. So one thing I really like about this, they decided to use the exact same powder coat as Rogue used. So I didn't want something that just stood out. I just wanted it on there and it just blended in. It looks the exact same MG black. It doesn't look like a different shade. If you're looking for aesthetics for a cool rack, this definitely adds to it. Now during use, I really like these. I don't, just being transparent, like jam arms are not the #1 purchase I would recommend for people, and they're not like the #1 piece in my gym. Most of the time, if I'm gonna do a jam arm movement, something with these, I'm probably gonna be doing it with dumbbells or cables or a barbell. That's what I would like lean towards. Every once in a while, I wanna do something that's more machine oriented, but having to clean the jam arm every time prevents me from wanting to do that. Whereas this, I use it much more. So ever since having these, I have used jam arms much more. Honestly, before that, I don't use my jam arms that much. In fact, when I talk to people that have jam arms, they're often a purchase that a lot of people are like, man, I like them, I like how I use them, but they don't get used nearly as much as say their functional trainer or their dumbbells. So priority should be a little bit lower. But I will say, ever since having these, I use them more. Then we have the GymPin times Kaizen jam arm adapters. And these are pretty cool. So basically Kaizen has an Instagram, I think he has a YouTube channel too. He's basically a creator in the home gym community, comes up with a lot of cool DIY projects. He came up with a way to basically allow for a 360-degree rotation for your jam arms. He was looking for manufacturers to help make them. GymPin, I guess, reached out or something, and they decided to collaborate and make this product. What their jammer arm adapter does is it allows you to, instead of having a single plane of motion for your jam arms, suddenly have a multi-plane motion. So when you're, say, doing press, instead of just having to fix press like this, it allows you to have them converging. So you can do, say like with dumbbells, you converge at the top because you squeeze your pecs together. You can do something like that similar with these. There's other movements that you can do with them, but the other benefit that they thought through is it also allows you to lock them in using a key. So it uses a very similar key to what's used on the new 2.0 Rogue trolley, as well as the monolift arms from Rogue. It allows you to use a key like that, they actually come with it, to fix the position. So you can fix them closer together or farther away, depending on how you want to use them. Or if you want to use them, say, closer together for dips, when you lock them out on your Vendetta trolleys, they can work like that. The first time I saw something like this, and really what it was probably inspired by, is when I was at Gunnar Peterson's gym. He has a custom Sorinex rack that has a custom jammer arm that has a 360-degree bearing rotation on it. It works really well, it's very fluid. This allows you to do something like that. And because it's using bushings and high quality components, again, it has the same powder coat, so it blends in really well. The construction on this is made very well, and also it does what you want it to do. So you load it, because of the bushings, once you pull the pin out, it's very fluid. So whenever you want to do converging press or anything like that, this allows you to do that, and it works very well. The question I really have with these after using them is not, does this work, but is this something I would legitimately add to my training? Personally, for the price, not really. I like the design, but for my training and the type of training I do, these aren't an addition to my gym that I'm like, I'm really glad I have those. I use them all the time. If you're using jammer arms a lot and you want to bring the arms closer together or farther away, or want to use them in different ways, these may be very beneficial to you because they work exactly as stated. They're very smooth and they allow the side-to-side movement even under load. So if you're looking for that, these work. Really, my hiccup with them is, for my training, I just don't use them. I don't think they're that useful for the type of training that I do. They're also quite expensive, quite a bit of money for a simple adapter. That doesn't include the arms or the trolleys. So you're adding that onto the cost of the lever arms that you've already got. Again, this is a smaller company, more boutique brand, really well made. They're actually made in the UK and then shipped over. So it just costs quite a bit to do that thing. So you have to decide if it's something that would actually be beneficial to you. I love the idea, just for my training, not crazy beneficial. The Vendetta adapters, if you're like, if you could only have one of these, this is probably clear, but if you could only have one of these, which would it be? Definitely the Vendetta 180-degree adapters. For my training and how I use lever arms, both for storage, for pull-ups, and just other things, I love having a fixed start position. I love being able to fix that. I'm a huge fan of the Vendetta ones. I like the GymPin ones, but if I'm like, which ones am I gonna get? I would definitely get the Vendettas if you can. I like having both of them, but if I can only get one, definitely the Vendetta. Now, if you're like, Coop, what would you change about them? Is there anything that you don't like about them? The GymPin ones specifically, they have that locking pin in there, which is cool, but it's not magnetic and there's no way to lock it in, which means when you're using arms like jam arms are made to be, which is dynamic, there's potential that that pin could pop out. A little bit annoying. So say you're wanting them to be fixed, you put the pin in and suddenly you're doing jam arm type movements, that pin falls out and suddenly it's like all over the place, just a little less than ideal. I would have liked that pin to be magnetic or to be able to be fixed in there so it wasn't able to move around. Other than that, it really comes down to the value and the price on these. It's cool that they add them on. It's also cool that they can work with a wide variety of lever arms. For instance, the Vendetta ones, they have them for both Rogue options, including the Monster Light as well as the Monster. They also have the ones for sore necks, for the Rep ISO arms, and the Titan lever arms. So you basically just about every popular lever arm or jam arm that's out there, you can get these adapters for. So to summarize, the Vendetta, big fan of. I definitely recommend, I really like them. I would use them in my home gym. The GymPin option, I think they're cool. You can use both of them together. I don't think they're worth as much as the Vendetta. So if you want both, go with both. But for me and my garage gym, I'll probably primarily use the Vendetta and the GymPin every once in a while. And I think that's how most of you would be as well. So just my honest opinion. Okay, what do you think about these? What do you think about smaller companies creating products for like the bigger manufacturers? I personally think it's a sweet idea. I kind of worry that maybe Rogue is just gonna take the ideas and add them to their product. I kind of want them to do that. I kind of would like if it was just all seamlessly involved into a standalone Rogue product. I think that would be pretty cool looking. Also, it would probably be cheaper than buying all these together. But I do think it's cool that smaller manufacturers are seeing holes in ways that bigger manufacturers aren't adding to their products. And they're coming alongside and saying, hey, we'll make something for it. So I like that idea. Let me know what you think in the comments. This has been Coop from Garage Gym Reviews. I'll see you next time. Peace.